What is up, Cowboys Nation? Buckle up because we've got breaking news that has absolutely rocked the star in Frisco. Yes, I'm talking about a bold, last-minute roster shakeup that's sending shockwaves across the NFL landscape. The Dallas Cowboys, in a move that very few saw coming, have traded offensive lineman TJ Bass in what's already being described as one of the boldest and most unexpected pre-camp decisions of the offseason. That's right, TJ. Before we dive in, do me a quick favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. Ready? Let's get into it. Bass, the undrafted gem from Oregon who made waves last season by punching above his weight, proving he belonged on the NFL stage, has been dealt in a sudden, late-breaking transaction that has fans buzzing, insiders scrambling for answers, and analysts questioning the long-term strategy coming out of Jerry Jones' front office. So let's dive deep into this high-stakes chess move by Dallas, break down what it means for the Cowboys' offensive line, the locker room dynamics, cap space considerations, and most importantly, what this means for the team's Super Bowl aspirations heading into this pivotal 2025 season. First off, let's set the stage. TJ Bass was never supposed to be a star. Coming out of Oregon as an undrafted free agent, expectations were modest at best. He was seen as a depth piece, a developmental guy, a plug-and-play emergency backup. But if you watched closely last season, you know that Bass played with a chip on his shoulder the size of the Texas state line. Whether it was filling in due to injuries or coming in during key rotational moments, Bass consistently showcased grit, versatility, and a surprising level of technical polish. He wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. Pro Football Focus gave him solid marks across the board, and more importantly, the coaching staff trusted him enough to let him battle it out with more established veterans. So when word broke that the Cowboys had packaged Bass in a deal just days before training camp, the initial reaction was a mix of shock, confusion, and in some corners outright frustration. The big question, of course, is why? Why move a young, ascending lineman with positional versatility, someone who's cost-controlled and had clear upside? Well, according to sources close to the situation, the trade was all about strategic value both in terms of roster balance and future assets. Reports indicate that Bass was part of a trade package sent to an AFC contender. Rumors suggest possibly the Jets or Bengals in exchange for a high-upside defensive lineman and a 2026 mid-round draft pick. Now let's not kid ourselves, Dallas didn't make this move lightly. In fact, some within the organization reportedly fought to keep Bass around, especially considering the team's notorious struggles with offensive line depth in recent years. Remember Tyron Smith's injuries, the rotating door at guard, and the need to constantly reshuffle the line in crucial games? Letting go of a guy like Bass, who could fill in at guard or tackle, is not a decision you make unless you're convinced the return value offsets the risk. So the front office must feel confident about two things: one, that they have enough depth and development in the pipeline to cover the loss, and two, that the player they're getting back in this deal can help transform the defensive front in a meaningful way. From a locker room chemistry standpoint, this move raises even more eyebrows. Bass was reportedly well liked by teammates and coaches alike: quiet, professional, hardworking, a glue guy in every sense of the term. Trading him sends a message: no one's spot is safe, and the team is operating with a ruthless commitment to improving the roster in any way possible. Some fans might love that kind of aggressive mentality, while others worry it disrupts continuity, especially on the offensive line, where cohesion is everything. There's also the financial side to consider. Bass was on a team-friendly deal, which means his cap hit was minimal. Trading him doesn't free up much space, but it might make sense if the Cowboys are eyeing a bigger move. Maybe a veteran signing is in the works, or maybe the front office wanted to open up a roster spot for a rookie who's been impressing during OTAs and minicamps. Either way, this isn't just about Bass, it's about positioning the team for flexibility heading into a brutal NFC schedule. And let's not overlook the message it sends to the rest of the league. This is a team that's tired of the close but not close enough narrative. After another heartbreaking playoff exit last season, the Cowboys clearly want to shake things up, retool key areas, and avoid complacency at all costs. Trading a rising young player like Bass might sting in the short term, but it shows Dallas is playing for keeps. They're not content with fielding a good enough roster, they want greatness, and they're willing to make bold, unpopular decisions to chase it. From a football perspective, there's no denying Bass's value. His ability to play multiple positions along the line gave the Cowboys an insurance policy they could rely on. Whether it was stepping in at left guard during a crunch or sliding out to right tackle in an emergency, Bass proved his mettle. He wasn't flashy, but he was effective. He didn't dominate the highlight reels, but ask any O-line coach and they'll tell you guys like TJ Bass are the ones who keep offenses running smoothly, who pick up stunts, adjust protections, and grind out those tough yards in the trenches. Losing that kind of player is never easy, and the Cowboys will have to hope their young linemen, maybe someone like a Sim Richards or rookies coming up, can step into the void. As for Bass, this could be the start of something bigger. A change of scenery might give him a clearer path to a starting role, especially if he lands with a team that desperately needs O-line help. Don't be surprised if he becomes one of those "how did we let him go" type of players in a year or two. We've seen it before, folks. The NFL is full of stories about late-rounder undrafted guys who were overlooked until they blossomed into Pro Bowlers after switching jerseys. Now, let's take a second to hear from you, Cowboys Nation. How do you feel about this trade? Are you all in on the idea that no one is safe and that Dallas should stay aggressive, or do you think this was a case of overthinking and giving up on a valuable depth piece too soon? Do you trust the front office to keep the O-line stable and protect Dak Prescott in what could be a make-or-break year? Or are you worried that moves like this, bold as they maybe, could come back to bite us when injuries inevitably hit later in the season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, I'm reading every single one. And before we go, let's zoom out and talk big picture. This trade might seem small on paper, but it's the kind of move that can ripple across a season. It changes your depth chart, it impacts your locker room, and it sets a tone heading into training camp. If the Cowboys want to take the next step, not just making the playoffs, but winning in the playoffs, they have to be willing to take calculated risks. Whether or not this trade pays off remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, this is not the same old conservative Cowboys front office. This is a team on a mission, making moves with purpose, and turning up the intensity before a single snap of preseason football is played. So stay locked in, folks, this is going to be one wild ride. I'll be breaking down more roster moves, training camp battles, and preseason surprises as they happen, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. And as always, thanks for watching, and go Cowboys!